Okay, the purpose of this short video is to show you a few things. First thing I'm going to show you is how to make yourself a copy of a Google document, and I'll explain why when I get there. Then I will show you how to access your files in your Google Drive. I'll explain why when we get there. And then I will show you how to download a file as a PDF, and I'll explain that when we get there. So here we go. Let's jump into it. So usually the reason you're going to need to do all three of these things is because you are working on a lab that is online. So if you go to your WVSU online, there's a number of ways you can scroll to find your lab, but I'm just going to do the shortcut and open this up here on the left-hand side. I'm going to use lab 1 as an example. So when you click on that, it brings you to the instructions. You can read those if you want. Now, when you do this, it's going to give you a link. This link, at least one link, and this link will bring you to the master copy of that lab worksheet. So you click on that and it brings it up, right? So this is the master copy. Because this is the master copy, you do not have editing access. The only thing you can do is look at this, which doesn't help you because you need to fill it out. So what you'll do is go up here to the top left where it says file. You click on file, and then you'll scroll down a little bit and hit make a copy. Then this pops up. You'll need to name your document. You could just leave it as it pops up where it says copy of hypothesis testing graphing. I have no guidelines. There's no requirements, anything you're supposed to do. I personally would recommend naming it, after yourself maybe, right? Dianellos' copy of hypothesis testing. This part is important. When you do this, if it gives you the option, it will not always do it, but click this little box right here and make sure you copy comments and suggestions. Share it with the same people. Don't even worry about that. You can if you want. It doesn't matter, but I would definitely recommend clicking copy comments and suggestions. So you've named it. You've clicked that. Now you click make yourself a copy. And then boom, there you go. You can see up here at the top, the original copy is still there, but now I've made myself a copy. This is now my copy. I am now able to edit it. And edit it is what you're going to need to do a lab. So let's say, for example, I've done this, right? I've opened this lab and I want to get it started. So I scroll down, I read all the information. Now I'm ready to start answering some questions. So I come down here to where the questions are, right? I put my name in here. I answer that question. I answer this question about what graphs are used for. And then I need to stop, right? So let's say I've started the lab, but I don't have time to finish it. So I need to stop. Now, because you're using Google Docs, you don't need to save anything. Everything is automatically saved. So you don't need to go to file and save or anything like that, right? Everything is automatic. So once you're done, or in this situation, in this hypothetical situation, once you're ready to pause or take a break or stop doing what you're doing for now, all you have to do is click off of it. Just X out of it, right? It's gone, right? Now, let's say it's a couple days later and you are now ready to work on your lab again. Now, no matter what device you're on, whether you're on the original device that you started or you're at your friend's house and you have to borrow their computer, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is go to Google, make sure you are signed into your Google account. And normally you would do that by signing into your WVSU your WVSU email account. Once you do that, once you're signed in, I can see that I'm signed in because I can see my little icon there, my little picture. Once you're signed into your Google account, then you go up here to the top right, and there's this little box of these little dots, right? You can see this box of dots. That is where your Google Apps are. So you're going to click on that. Everybody's looks different because it's customizable. I can swap these things around, right? So yours is going to look a little bit different than mine. But somewhere in this area is going to be your drive. So once you click on that, it'll open up your Google Drive where everything that you do is automatically saved. It's usually done chronologically. So for example, you can see here, since I just made myself a copy, right here it is up at the top of my list is the copy of that document, right? So now I can open it back up and I can finish working on my lab. That's it. Another thing I want to show you too, if for some reason after you pull up your Google Docs, if you don't see it right away, and if you scroll down and you still can't see it, then you can search for it. You just go up here to the search bar, and whatever it is that you named it, you can go up there and type the name in, and hopefully you can find it. But again, let's go back to this idea of working on the lab, right? So you're working on this lab. This is your copy. Now let's assume you're done and you're ready to turn it in. Now, if you're taking an in-person class, this might mean that you are just done with the pre-lab. And I'm going to use this one as an example again, right? So these are pre-lab questions. So let's assume you're in an in-person class and you finished this pre-lab, right? You answered all these questions. You haven't done the rest of it yet, but you've done the pre-lab, right? This pertains to you. You're going to go over here to File. You're going to scroll down to Download, and then you're going to download it as a PDF, just like that. You can see up here, right here, it is downloading as a PDF. Once it is done downloading, you then go up here, back to where the lab worksheet is, and yours is going to look different than mine because you're a student and I'm the professor, so I don't have an option. So I have no option to upload anything or submit anything, but somewhere down here towards the bottom, you will have the ability to upload that document. So that is how you turn in a pre-lab, right? And then after you come to lab, right? Once you come to lab, you're going to bring your device. You're going to, again, this is redundant, but that's okay. I want to make sure you guys know how to do it. Let's say you come into lab, you physically come into lab. Now you're ready to work on it. Once again, you go up here to these little dots. You open up your drive. You find your document that you're working with. You open it. Again, let's assume you've already done your pre-lab. Now you're working on the lab. So you just scroll down here. And again, this is the same document, right? So you go down here, and now finally you can start answering the actual questions in the lab, right? So then once you're done with the entire lab, you're just going to do the same thing. You go here to File. You're going to scroll down to Download. You're going to download it as a PDF again. And then you can see there it is again. In this case, it has a different name. You can see, right? Because I just downloaded the first time I downloaded it with the pre-lab was this. And then up here above that, it's the same name, except now it has a parentheses #1, right? That just indicates that this is a newer version, right? But anyway, once you're ready to turn in the lab, again, you're going to go to this lab section. Again, mine looks different than yours, but somewhere over here, you will have an option to delete your original file, the original one you turned in for the pre-lab, and then you're going to upload that more recent version. And that's how in-person students will turn in the pre-lab and then the lab. Now, if you're an online student, basically what I just told you is the same thing. It's just a little bit more simple because you don't have to turn in a pre-lab. So once again, and I know this is redundant, but it's okay. I just want to show you how it works. Let's say you're ready to finish up the lab. You've started it, but you haven't finished it. You're ready to work on it again. You log into your Google account. You go up here to your apps. You go to Drive. Just like I showed you before, you open up the document. You fill out all the questions, right? You make sure you answer everything. And then once you're done and ready to submit it, just like I showed you previously when I was talking to the in-person students, you do the same thing. File, download. I'm not going to do it a third time, but you would then download it as a PDF. And then once you're ready to, at that point, once it's on your hard drive, then you go here back to the lab area on WVSU Online, and you're going to submit it by uploading that file. And that's it. And the only thing I want to point out for both in-person and online students, after you've done a lab, if there are any mistakes and you want to make corrections, here we go again with the redundancy. Let's say you missed some questions. All you need to do is the same thing. Sign into your Google account. Open up your apps. Open up your Google Drive. Open up the document, right? And then, now if you're looking at your WVSU Online, and I can't show you because I don't have an example, but if there were mistakes that you made, and you can look at your feedback to see what your mistakes were, you can go in here, right? Again, this is your original document that's in your Google Drive. Let's say you missed this question. Of course, this is empty, so of course it would be wrong, but let's say you missed number 7. So you go in here, you write your answer, you make all the corrections that you want to make, you're ready to resubmit it. Once again, you go to File, scroll down to downloads, download as a PDF. Once it's on your hard drive, you'll go back to this lab section on WVSU Online. Yours is going to look different, but somewhere down here, there's going to be the ability for you to delete the original PDF that you uploaded. And then once you've done that, you can then upload this new version. And that's it. And the number one piece of advice I can give you, not just for this, but for everything else, is that you don't have to do any of this alone. So even though I've given you a video and shown you how to do this, you can just tell me, shoot me an email, say, hey, I need to do this lab. I don't even know how to get started. And then we can meet online and I can walk you through this. After you've done this one time, I think it is pretty easy. It might be a little bit confusing or challenging at first, but once you get the hang of it, it is actually quite easy. So that's it. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. And again, you do not have to do any of this alone.